Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and there is a huge announcement, a huge update. We have the Three Kingdoms bundle in the shop. That's it. Just kidding, everybody. There's a big announcement along with the bundle and the portraits going live in the shop. We now have officially the announced of like the classic rework and all that stuff, what that means. And well, we're getting a new format and we're getting a core set, so let's dive right into it. So they're introducing the core set. I'm going to link below their whole explanation of all this. There's like a Q&A at the bottom that might answer some questions I don't go over. So check that out below if you want more detail. But yes, there's going to be a core set added to the game. We're going to get classic Hearthstone, literally like 2014 day one Hearthstone, and wild will be, well, it'll be wild. So yeah, so the core set, this is the big change that's happening, and basically 235 cards will be in the core set. What is the core set? Well, you're gonna have your regular expansions and mini sets, all that during the year, right? So like right now, what stays in standard, we're still gonna have like Ashes of Outland, we're still gonna have Skullman's Academy and Dark Moon Fair, as well as the corresponding Dark Moon Races mini set. That'll stay in standard. But as well in standard, there'll be the new expansion in April or March, whenever it is, and then the core set. And the core set will contain 235 cards, and some of those will be like old wild cards, they'll be reimagined cards. They already mentioned that Shadow Form is going to be one of those cards, some of the Demon Hunter cards, since Demon Hunter is going to be low on cards. And yeah, they just said there'll be 88 cards returning from Classic itself, 54 cards returning from Basic, 55 from Wild. So you can see here the gist of it, right? So what this means is that not only will you have all of like the regular expansion stuff, you'll have like an influx of new cards every single year, and they can rotate cards in and out of the core set probably as they wish. Like if there's an issue, say like, you know, we had the Doom and the Tomb event, they brought Evolve back, and maybe Evolve's a problem, they could probably take it out of the core set and put it back to Wild and replace it with something else. Like it allows them to be flexible. They could also nerf stuff, balance stuff, that'll still go on, but it's just a really cool thing, and allows things to change, that the basic set and the classic set aren't the exact same every year. Things could get a little bit more spicy. So you might be wondering, well, I don't have all these wild cards, how am I going to keep up? Well, the core set's free. Their core set, all the cards from the core set will be given to every player. They can be used in either standard or wild. You don't have to craft them, so that's a big bonus. So you might get some of the classic cards you've been missing out on for years. You might be given that. Once it goes back to wild, once that core set changes up, you'll lose access to those cards. But if you remember the Doom and the Tomb event, to go back to that, you got those wild cards for free. You were able to use them. So it'll be the same thing there. The core set is 100% free. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to make the game more expensive, which is an awesome thing. And I guess the last thing I'll note with this is that we're not going to get dust refunds anymore for the Hall of Fame, like when cards rotate, because, well, there's not really the new, you know, the classic and basic set's not really the same thing anymore. That doesn't exist. Classic and basic no longer exist. It's now the core set. So even like the old basic cards that are going to come up, they're going to be commons. They're no longer going to be like, have no tag. They're going to have a value to it, but you're no longer going to get dust for cards that rotate from the core set. But I guess as compensation, getting the entire core set for free probably makes up for it. I think I'm okay with that. That's a lot of cards, a lot of stuff to try out. And I think, you know, we will miss out on a Hall of Fame dust. That sucks, but the core set I think is an exciting new change, and the fact that it's free makes it awesome, and I think it outweighs the negative of not getting that bonus dust to kind of start up this standard year. But the other big news is that there's going to be the classic format. We're getting a new format, and no, this is not the new game mode. This is just a new format that will be on your ladder. You'll have standard, which will be the core set plus all the expansions. You'll have wild, which will just be everything like wild has always been. And then you'll have the classic format, which will just be classic and basic as you knew it in 2014. Basically at launch, they have like 4-mana Leroy. You're going to have all these broken things like a 2/1 Leper Gnome or whatever. All these broken cards. Ice Block's going to be there. It's all going to be there. It does appear that you'll have to buy classic packs to get these cards, and the classic packs will have unnerfed versions. of like say the knife juggler, 2-mana 3/2 knife juggler, but if you have a 2-mana 2/2 knife juggler, that can only be used in wild. So the classic packs will get you classic format cards and you'll only be able to use them there. So that it'll definitely be a whale mode, that's for sure. I would imagine old classic cards that weren't nerfed should be usable, but we'll have to wait and see. It'll work like every other ladder. It'll be like, it'll have legend ladder, it'll have the season end reward. So if you hit legend on that ladder and that ladder only, you're not going to miss out on like your rares and epics and your packs that you'll get. They did also noted like all the like classic cards that they used to replace old Hall of Fame cards, for example, like Icicle, Tome of Intellect, Call of the Void, cards like that won't be available in this mode. You also will not be able to play Demon Hunter. So if you absolutely loathe Demon Hunter and never want to face it ever, you can just play classic mode where Demon Hunter didn't exist in 2014. So I think it's a cool mode. It's a little bit problematic. I think that people will have to buy classic packs and get those classic specific cards. We're already seeing dilution in gameplay, like duels isn't very popular, doesn't see a lot of play, and I'm sure there'll be a big novelty of playing classic right away, but with like no updates to it. If a classic just remains classic, I could see it being very like, it'll just die off very quickly. So I'm hoping for like the future of classic that maybe they'll like add GVG unnerfed at some point and then add other modes unnerfed at some point. Maybe it's for like a month or season or something. There's some really cool stuff you can do, but if they just leave it as simply just classic for like a long time, it'll just become incredibly stale. It'll be the same thing over and over and over. So I do think you can make classic stay classic by adding new and interesting stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. It's literally just announced, and it'll be really cool to go back and play some of these decks. I never got to play this. I didn't play in 2014, so this will be new for me to play with like a 5-mana auctioneer and stuff like that. I've never played that, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be buying classic packs because I'm a ridiculous whale. And yeah, so there's the new modes. Wild basically stays the same. If you could go back and play your favorite decks in classic, maybe they'll make Ixar take a little less stance on that philosophy in wild. Maybe we'll see more bounce patches there, but I don't know. Anyways, let me know if you have comments or questions. Are you excited? All that stuff in the comments below. I think it's really cool. I'm psyched for it. I'll be definitely hitting legend on all 3 ladders the second it goes live. And also, big time news, we're going from 18 deck slots to 27. 27 deck slots. The future is here. This is crazy. That's even bigger news than any of this, I think. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.